Welcome to the Comfortable in Chaos Podcast. Strangle your demons and let's go.
Y'all need Jesus!
She said, I don't know if I've ever been good enough. If I'm a little bit rusty and I think my head is caving in. Welcome to the Comfortable in Chaos Podcast. I am your host, Eric Hellberg. And you know, we're like Einstein over here, men. We have no special talents. We're just passionately curious about all things pertaining to men. Talk about the passion of the Christ, right? We just made it through Easter. No, passion isn't perversity. The world's made perversity passion, and passion perversity. Let's think on all things that are good. But why did I choose that song? Head caving in. Well, that Matchbox 20 song was one of the selections played at the funeral of an army buddy of mine, as he wrote a note to the people he was left behind before he, drug himself down, waded into an estuary, the finger of the ship channel, put a .45 that he told me he was going to buy sometime before, was really excited about it, up to his forehead. And just like the song said, instead of, I think my head is caving in, he did cave his head in. Because we live in an insane world. Was he insane? Maybe at the time of his death, yes. Previous to that, no. Very calm, cool, calculating, forward thinking. So how do you get there? By living in this world without someone believing in you, or you believing in something bigger than yourself, i.e. the Christ. We have made it through Easter. Let's start this week and kick it right in the nuts. You feel me? All right, here's where we're going to begin. And keep that illustration in your mind. A head. A destructive head. Because we are being led by many a fools with destructive heads. So the title of this episode will be A Bad Look. You look via the eyes in your head. Wasn't it a fucking bad look in New York City when one president who is demonized is both worshiping with a family and paying tribute with a family to a slain, meaning another murdered officer? Meanwhile, those other three fools, President Obama, President Clinton, President Biden, you're going to be like, you can't call them fools, Eric. Yeah, I can. I didn't say they weren't sinister and fucking calculating, but they're fools. They're all going to get theirs. We've revealed them all on this show. I've talked about every single one of them. And if you've been a Republican president and you've been an ass, you've been talked about as well. The amazing thing is you're throwing all the vitriol on a man who showed up at a funeral in his city, the city that made him, whereby he has history. You know who he is, you know where he came from, you just don't like him, and that's fine. But what was a better look? Was he asking that family for campaign contributions? All three of you guys knew that happened, right, President Clinton? You kept an office in Harlem for a long time, first black president. You've heard my other episodes. I know what you did in North Little Rock. I knew the man whose brother took you to North Little Rock. What say you? Y'all raised $28 million to get ready for the November election. That's wonderful. You basked in the adulation. President Joe didn't know what was going on, but Obama soaked it in. Even old Slick Willie kept soaking it in because he loves it. You came up through the stage like Taylor Swift, right? Felt really good about yourselves. Okay, you felt kind of like Jay-Z. Remember? Remember, Barry, what happened? Benghazi had already tripped off, right? Oh, yeah, the CIA annex is being overrun. You don't give a crap about Ambassador Stevens because he already got the weapons to ISIS. Oh, yeah. He had already gotten the crap to the Syrian rebels, so he was expendable. Let him burn, let him get shot, let him get mutilated just like Gaddafi. We came, he died, right? Right, Hillary? Ha, ha, ha. Right, Hillary? Okay. Well, when Benghazi tripped off, what did Obama do? Remember, he just came through the stage. Trump's over there at a funeral. But Obama, Biden, Billy Bob are coming through the stage. To much fanfare, they raised $28 million. He's being celebrated. And when Benghazi tripped off, Obama knew it, but got on a plane anyways, flew to Las Vegas to party with Jay-Z. And now we know that Jay-Z may have been diddying with P. Diddy's Diddy. We'll do some shows on that coming up. I'm going to find out who all is tied into that. I knew Oprah was a snake. And damn it, I know a dude who used to mix some music for T.D. Jakes. That dude may be in the mix too. Stop trusting these fools. They can tell you anything. All right, so that's a bad look. That's a bad look, President Biden. Yep, but you need those. You need those funds pouring in. This is going to be one hell of a presidential election. The thing you can't count on, though, even though you tried to eliminate him, you tried to eliminate him, and I'm saying eliminate because we know that Barry's behind Biden. You tried to get rid of RFK Jr. as soon as you were sworn into office. And did you know, without his Uncle Teddy, good old Edward Kennedy, one of our, at that time, liberal and Democratic stalwarts, who's been a stalwart in the Democratic Party longer than the Kennedy family? Without them, you wouldn't have even made it to where you did, Joe. But then you tried to ostracize old RFK Jr. I guess loyalty doesn't exist and loyalty doesn't go very far. But we're going to talk more about that. He is your spoiler. He is your spoiler. It will be impossible unless what occurred in 2020 happens again. And Lord willing, we have the machinery in effect to keep it from happening again. But without that theft, there's no way you're getting in, dude. There's no way that you will be re-elected again. Now, Democratic voters, I've done a few episodes on this. Preserve your sanctity of the ballot. Tell your buddies you're Democrats while you're out on the streets if you need to, so you're not ostracized. Don't tell them how you really feel. Hide all your thoughts and convictions, okay? Just make it work at the ballot box. We know what these migrants are all about. And you should know it too, because the jobs aren't here anymore. We'll talk about economics in my next episode, and we're going to talk about RFK in my next episode. In fact, one of my new buddies just said, Eric, do a show on why everything's so damn expensive. I'm like, son of a bitch, man. You're going to make me get into central banks, the Federal Reserve, and how money is really utilized and works? Well, I may just have to do that. Because I can tell you this, in 5 years, men, in 5 years, 50 cents of every dollar will go to service the interest payments only. Half of every dollar in this country out of your back pocket will go to service the interest payment on our $34 trillion and counting, I don't know what it'll be in 5 years, national debt. That is unbelievable. Unbeknownst to you, oh yeah, if you were of age, unbeknownst to you, whether you have a credit card or not, you have $103,000 on your back in debt right now. So start paying it, motherfucker. Start paying it. Democratic voters, Democratic workers, get to work, but where are the jobs, right? Artificially inflated economy. We've got everything coming back to the defense contractors, all the board members who are tied to our elected officials. It's crazy making. So it's a very bad look that you guys are celebrating, you three presidents, while the other president who supposedly is a narcissist and actually in touch with the people, looking to reach out and integrate with people while you look to rise above people, he's the one accused of being a narcissist. That's one bad look. Second bad look, man, I'll probably offend some people. I'm going to keep offending them. I'm going to start telling the truth more and more and more. I have a lot of badass patriots and just a lot of badass mofos in their own right in the state of Louisiana. In fact, where we live in Southeast Texas, we are irrevocably intertwined with Southwest Louisiana. Our cultures are the same. Our peoples are the same. We all get along famously. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Pick up the phone, my Louisiana listeners, and call that fine institution known as Louisiana State University, LSU, and tell them they dicked up. You're going to tell me that in March Madness, on a national forum, you were going to let your women's basketball team not even be on the court, coaches not even on the court during the pregame ceremony and then the national anthem, while Iowa's women's basketball team is sitting there in solidarity and listening to the pledge. That is the national anthem. That is a horrifically bad look. Now, I know they're trying to save face. I know that the ladies' coach, another female, has said, oh, well, we have our certain pregame warm-up and we have our exercises, so forth, that we go through. Motherfucker, if you're a lazy-ass teenager and you may be in a rift with your parents and you're laying on the couch doing what God knows that you do and your parents walk in the house, you're not going to get up off your ass, turn and look at them and show a form of respect. You're at one of the most prestigious universities in the country. You're there because you were chosen, pursued, and now coddled, and you're disenfranchised too? For what possible reason? We've already torn into the race debate on this show. And you know what it all comes down to? You cannot control a man's heart. You cannot control what is inside of him. If someone still has that systemically in them, then so be it. You have more opportunity now than ever before. So I don't think it was race. What was your other reason? What happened? Has the national anthem offended you if you're lesbian? We know that in organized women's sports, there's a great preponderance of females who like other females. How do I know? Because I know some of their managers, and I've been told by someone very close to me who used to be a manager of a women's team. So are you upset about that? What is it? The shorts were too long, so you couldn't show leg to the other women? Or you're one of these feminist lesbians. Okay, are you a feminist lesbian? Therefore, you deliberately try to look ugly? Stop. Plenty of you are ugly already. You don't need to try. Stop making America any uglier. Get your asses out on the court and stand up. Be there for the pledge. I did a previous episode called Ray Charles is Right and debunked Colin Kaepernick's BS. Guy was coddled too. Interracial family. How were you ever held back? Ladies, coaches at LSU, how have you been held back? Get your asses back out on the court. My Louisiana listeners, make a phone call to the president of that university and tell those people to show some damn respect. And I tell you what too, Carl Malone, you're a law tech guy, make a phone call to the president of that university. Phil Robertson? Oh yeah. Get the president's number, send him a text. He'll stand at attention for you and he'll make these other you-know-what stand at attention. Alex Bregman, my son and I love you. If you want to remain apolitical, remain apolitical. I get it. It's a hard road to hoe. So here's all you need to simply do. You're an LSU alum. We know you're from Albuquerque. We think you're badass. I love that big-ass chaw that you have in your mouth. We love how judicious you are at the plate. We love that gun of an arm you have. We know how you use your footwork to get in position even though you're a small guy and make those plays at third. Simply call that mofo over in Baton Rouge and say, look, I think it was a bad look for LSU. It's not going to go over well. Amend your ways. Hang up the phone. Keep playing baseball. We want the Astros to win. So how are we going to end here today, man? And what was this? This is a pep talk for the week. Let's get fired up. I'm fired up. I want you fired up along with me. It's a bad look. Let's not give our chances to ourselves to have a bad look. And if we care about other people, let's not let them have a bad look. And in our next episode, what we are going to talk about is money, since I was asked to talk about that. We're going to talk about RFK and how he actually said Biden is more dangerous to democracy than Trump. And we're going to simply go forward and take the issues as they come. So until next time on the Comfortable in Chaos podcast, I bid you bon voyage, my burgeoning flock.
Until next time, like and subscribe to the Comfortable in Chaos podcast.